I'm Michael Marcagi. Blast off to the music universe.
Got a little folk going on here at the Music Universe. Michael Marcagi with us today as he talks about his success and what's ahead in 2025. Matt, how are you doing?
Can't believe it's almost 2025 is how I'm doing.
Yeah, this could potentially be our last episode of the year.
Of the
I
year.
I don't know. I don't want to say that for sure, but we've had quite the year.
Busy.
Been busy. You're at this point nearing 100 concerts for the second year, and last year, thank God.
I've been annoying him with this because I didn't think I'd get it. And then all of a sudden I'm like at 85 and it's October. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can hit this.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you're,
so
you're gonna hit it, but yeah, we're gonna have we're strategizing next year's coverage already, believe it or not, because hey, we're right around the corner. What are we, less than 60 days? Yeah, we're less than
yeah.
60 days. That's insane. 2024 has flown by, 2025 is on the way. But
And I
we could
only had you to Vegas. You can actually count on one hand this year the number of times that you've
twice,
been to Vegas. No, three times.
three. Yeah, three. Well, okay.
Because
I guess I can
you
count.
took you took your child
Oh
without
yeah,
me, by the way.
thankfully. One time. So we've both been once without you, all the other times with. And I think you counted 17 for me and 10 for her total. Is that
I
correct?
think so. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
to
I think
Vegas.
so.
So
But
very
anyway, the point
interesting.
is next year's going to be busy and we're already planning our coverage. And Michael is actually part of that coverage because he's coming here to DC. I'm going to go catch him. But we got to talk about all of his releases this year and what 2025 looks like for him. Michael Marcagi, welcome to the music universe. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're great. We're great.
Pretty
You
good.
are presently on the road. You got a lot of music coming down the pipeline and already out. So tell us first about life on the road and what you've been encountering with fans traveling the country.
Yeah, the past year has been, the most unexpected and wildest year of my life. For sure, we've gotten to play more shows than I ever thought was possible. I got to play in Europe, in Australia, and then we just wrapped up a Canadian tour a few weeks ago. And so, yeah, it's been amazing. It's been really, really cool to see how these songs have kind of, worked and people have been drawn to them. And it's been really cool to see people singing them along back and just been a really, really unexpected and fun year for me.
And how was visiting those other countries? I would presume that was your first time over in those countries.
Yeah, for sure. It was amazing. It was, just being over in such cool places was an amazing opportunity. Just like I had never been to all those countries in Europe before, and like so it was kind of confusing. I was like, oh, I feel like I'm on vacation, but oh, I also have a show to play tonight. So it was it was fun though. It was I just feel so lucky to be able to that music has opened up so many doors for me in the past couple of years, and um, yeah, it was just a really really neat really neat opportunity to get to go to all these new places.
What did you take from the international run? Because your music is folky, and I know that that is becoming more. I think it's always been globally. I don't want to say accepted, but loved.
Mhm.
And I think with people like you and some others out there that they're really taking it to a new international level. Did you feel that on tour?
Yeah, yeah, it was cool. It was like the first place that we played, that wasn't in the States was London, and it was like probably my favorite show that I've ever gotten to play. People were singing along back, louder than I've ever heard in my entire life. And it was kind of like this eye opening experience of like, oh, the music is working over here and people are connecting with these songs. And yeah, it's interesting to see, how that music has kind of become more of a international thing and not just a thing here in the States. I guess I could probably owe a lot of that to Noah Kahn, but it even goes back farther, to like Lumineers and Mumford. We're doing this kind of music way before us.
Yeah, and you got to write with the Lumineers. You wrote your most recent single with the Lumineers. Tell me about that process.
Yeah. So I record in upstate New York, and it's with the same producer the Lumineers have you been using for the past couple albums. And it was just one of those things where, the producer had always been talking about like, oh, I think you guys would get along. I think you guys would be a good fit to do a song together, and it's just never really worked out or whatever. And yeah, finally, we had time in our schedules and did a song together. We spent a week. Me and Wes, the lead singer of Lumineers, spent a week together up in upstate New York and just yeah, wrote a song from scratch and recorded it, and it was a really really cool experience. Like he's just it's number one. The Lumineers have been such an influential band for me, and getting able to work with them was like a dream come true. But on a personal level, he's just a really 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 great dude, and has been really really great about reaching out and kind of almost like being like a mentor for me in this like new chapter of my musical career.
So now the answer to this may be not at all, but how does being in the upstate New York area, recording there, how does that influence your sound, your folk music, um, versus, being in Nashville? How does
Yeah,
being in that sort of rural northeastern area influence your music?
it definitely a lot, like it's one of my favorite places in the whole world. And the like I was there just a few weeks ago, and like it was just the most beautiful time to be there. Like the mountains were orange and all the leaves were changing, and it's really like isolated, which I like. Like the studio that we record at is up on a mountain, and it's just a few people there, and there's not busy streets. It's back roads and mountains and stuff like that. So it's kind of like my speed, and I think it just like helps kind of you kind of when I want to record, I want to like be all in on recording. And when I've done the recording in like places like Nashville or other places that are a little busier, you kind of like feel like you get distracted by things. And when I'm up in upstate New York, it's like you're all in on music, and that's the only thing you're focusing on. And it's a really, really cool, like peaceful place to be where you can solely just focus on music.
Yeah, I know Tim McGraw has recorded in upstate New York. He's taken his band and they've just kind of holed themselves in there. Eric Church has done it in North Carolina. So it really does give you a chance to just focus on the music and record as much as you want without that desire maybe to go out and mingle or
Mhm.
go here or go there. Do you find yourself a lot of times writing in the studio, like coming up with ideas because you're focused on it more?
Yeah, for sure. And that happened a lot last time I was there. We had like, it was the first time that I've had a big chunk of time there where I was there for like 3 weeks. So it wasn't so much like we had to get so much stuff done. We kind of had some time to relax and write. And yeah, it was fun to be able to just, write and kind of take things a little slower. And I've also realized that I'm like terrible at writing on the road. I'm way too extroverted and like want to hang out with people to like take the time to like, oh, I'm going to grab my guitar and try to write when I'm on tour. So it was a good break from to to try to just kind of again be alone and focus on just the music.
Yeah, and Good Enough follows the fan favorite Tear It All Apart. Tell us about that song.
Yeah, Tear It All Apart was, after the EP, the first song that I recorded away from the EP. And yeah, it just I was up there in upstate New York, and it was kind of like an extra song that we had a few days, and I kind of wrote it partly in the studio, and so it came together and ended up being one of my favorites.
Yeah. And you just announced some headlining dates for next year. So
I'm excited about that. You're coming to
pretty
my neck of the woods.
pretty
Oh, where's
extensive
that?
there.
Yeah, DC. You'll be at 9:30 Club uh
Yeah, I'm
in
excited about.
February. Yeah.
Yeah, DC will be awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun tour. It's gonna be the biggest tour that we've done yet, and bigger rooms, and gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it looks like it starts January 5th in Cancun. So you're hitting all the hot spots there.
Yeah,
Then
we get to
you go
we get to
back to
play a
London.
festival in Mexico. I've never been, and looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun time. A lot of good bands there.
Oh yeah, and then you're going back to London, and then you're coming to the States, and then you're going back to Europe again in April. I mean, that's quite the schedule
Do
there.
you get to sleep?
You know, I didn't sleep much this entire year, and it was again the most fun year of my life, but the most exhausting. But I've been back home for a few weeks now, and I thought I was gonna be like so content just hanging out and not doing anything, and I already have the itch to go back out and play some more shows. So
So are you off the rest of the year as far as touring goes?
yeah, I'm off until Cancun.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
very cool.
you might find yourself back in the studio perhaps.
Yep, definitely going back to the studio. Gonna do some more songs with Wes, I believe, which will be super fun. And yeah, it'll be a nice time to kind of just focus on writing new music.
Yeah, and so Scared to Start reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot Rock and Alternative charts. You've amassed more than 4 billion with a B. TikTok video views, 619 million global streams. And you made your late night TV debut on Late Night with Seth Meyers. Tell us about that, because that's a big deal when you can make your late night or any TV debut, but especially late night.
Yeah, it was a really, really fun opportunity, playing late night TV in New York City. Definitely the most nervous I've ever been, that's for sure. But, getting a song out in front of that many people, and now that I've done it once, I kind of have the itch to do it again. It was fun. Now that I've like experienced it, I know what to expect next time, because it's a weird thing. You like record in the afternoon and you're just kind of like waiting around all day to do it. So it definitely the nerves can be there for sure.
Yeah. Now, when you're doing something like a TV appearance or you're on tour, a lot of artists don't they say they don't get to really explore the cities. Do you get time to do that, or are you just kind of stuck on the bus and in the venue and hotel?
Yeah, kind of depends. There's definitely some truth to like when you go to a new city, the joke is always like somebody asked, how do you like our city? And it's like, well, I went to a coffee shop 10 feet away from the venue, and I like Uber Eats to the green room. Like, you don't get too much time to explore, but, um, being on a bus changes things because you drive through the night and wake up in the city. So I've been trying to a little better to explore and take advantage of going to new places, because you're when you're like in different cities like in Europe and places you've never been before, you definitely want to get out and see the sights.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
Exactly. Well, we look forward to so much more from you over the next year. I will be there, I'm sure, when you're here in February. Michael,
Valentine's
thank you.
Day. Valentine's
Valentine's
Day for
Day,
you.
yes.
Valentine's, how romantic.
Yes. It'll be a fun night. I think 2025 is going to be a massive, massive year for you if the things that are happening here on the edge of 2024 lead into that, and I'm sure that they will. Thank you, Michael. This has been really fun talking with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you.
Oh, buddy, it's always fun to get to do these.
Oh yeah.
So,
We get to chat with some artists that sometimes we familiarize ourselves with.
as we go
And
along.
yeah, and I mean, I said some of the stats earlier in the interview, but he's just blown up on TikTok, and of course, Warner Records picked him up. And that's cool. He's doing a lot of good things, a lot of international dates, and go to our website as well and see where he's going to be at a town near you next year. The U.S. dates kick off February 11th. They wrap March 22nd. And then those European dates we mentioned are actually with the Lumineers in April. So
Oh,
there you
cool.
go.
All right. Well, for the Music Universe, I'm Matt Bailey.
And I'm Buddy On. Thanks for listening and watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share at the Music Uni and themusicuniverse.com. Take care.